Hey everyone, and thank you for tuning in to my SoundPaint podcast. SoundPaint was a concept I created about 10 years ago with the goal to be rooted in a safe community for musicians seeking music education from an angle of just wanting to explore and enjoy music and sound and grow together in their skill and ability. I also feel very strongly about the connection between art and music. It's my love and passion to read different physics studies that explore the correlation between sound waves and light waves. Light waves, which, when broken down, are basically the colors that we see. I love the idea of approaching writing music with color in mind. That's actually a big source of my inspiration when I play. With that in mind, I think you get why I call this project SoundPaint. For those of you that are listening and can't see what I'm doing, I'm working today in Ableton Live 11 with Arturia's Keylab 88, which I'm using as my MIDI controller, or Musical Instrument Digital Interface. As we go, I'll be describing what I'm doing as much as possible for everyone listening without the video. If you are interested in seeing what I'm doing in Ableton, you can find my video podcast on YouTube by clicking the link included below in the info section of this podcast. And so here we go. What I want to do, I get excited. I'm excited about what we've been doing, so I want to keep doing it. And if you haven't listened, if you haven't been listening or watching the last two podcasts, we've done a lot with oscillators, which I like to refer to as a cooking pot for sound waves. And different sound waves together create a synthesized sound. Well, actually, no, that's not quite true. One oscillator can create a synthesized sound. Quickly, to illustrate that, I have right here, now for those of you not listening, I have this box, and at the top of the box is oscillator 1, and at the bottom of the box I have oscillator 2. I am going to shut off oscillator 2. Now, each oscillator is assigned a wave shape. And we went over all the different wave shapes, but I might recap just a little bit. So last week we really delved into a Sawtooth Wave. So let me go back over the Sawtooth Wave. I'm going to angle my camera down just a bit so you can see what I'm doing here. Now this one, and again, if you listened to last week, you remember what the octave function is here in this oscillator, and it's bumped up an octave, which means you're hearing it 8 notes higher than where I'm hitting it. And I personally like it actually lower. So I'm going to go an octave lower. There we go. Oh, I like that. Not the last part, but that. I like that little idea. That's very, if you've ever seen the movie Blade Runner or Chariots of Fire, you're familiar with the composition of Vangelis. It's really sad. I just found out he passed away. And he was like a huge inspiration to my songwriting. Man, the sounds of Blade Runner, especially. Like this little idea, I think I'm just like thinking about him right now. especially this. It's so Blade Runner. I love it. Absolutely love that. So that's a Sawtooth Wave. I just want to do something and dedicate it to this composer that inspired me so much. So you know what? I'm just going to maybe tweak this Sawtooth Wave, and maybe I'll do a couple other things in the oscillator, but I think I want to keep it to one oscillator. I like this octave we're in. Maybe I'll play with this. I don't know. Okay, so what I'm doing here, let me explain it real quick. This word, and again, for those of you not watching, it says semi, meaning semitone. It's kind of a way to say, you know what? I want every single note that I play to be pulled out of tune just a little bit. So actually, I'm just going to demonstrate real quick what that sounds like. So I'm just going to play a C. Now I'm going to pull it one semitone down, and I'm going to play it again. So that's still a C, but technically you're hearing a B. Okay, let me show you this way. I'm going to manually play a C, then I'm going to play a B. Try to memorize those two sounds. C, B. Okay, cool. So now I am going to just hit C. That's all I'm going to play. Okay, here's C. I'm still going to hit C, but I'm going to pull this semitone down a half step. There's your B that I told you to memorize. I am physically still hitting C. I'm going to do it one more time. And again, I encourage you to find me on YouTube so you can see what I'm doing. So going back up one semitone, here's C. Okay. Pull it down one semitone. Still hitting the same note. Now what I'm doing, whoa. Whoops. Okay, so what I'm doing now, I'm just going to hold C. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to hold it. But I'm manually in the oscillator going to pull it one semitone down, back up to 0, which would make it, right in the center of, which would make the note that I'm playing C. Here's C, B, C. Whoops, that's a B. C, C, B, C, B. All right, that's creepy. I'm going to stop. That's enough of that. I said all that to say this. I'm going to keep it where it is. I want to actually play the notes I know I'm playing. And now, I think I'm going to increase the resonance. How's that sound? Ooh, I like that little, you hear that little like sparkliness on the high end? It kind of, if you can imagine like an envelope, it's like the sound starts off initially a certain way, and then when it gets to the mid of the envelope, it kind of like opens up and does something a little bit more exotic. I guess you could think of it that way, until it like trails off. That is what a sound envelope is, and I'm gonna play with that. I like it. I'm feeling it. has so much like personality. I love that. I'll stop there. You know what? I want to hear from you. So I just told you one of my inspirations. I have so many, honestly. And I really don't even care if it's music related because not all of you are musicians listening. But I would love to hear some feedback from you about somebody who inspired you and made you feel like, you know what? I want to do that one day myself. So the composer Vangelis, he was just incredible. And yeah, he made me want to play with synthesizers. And it's really cool that, I am. And I want to hear from you. Who's inspired you? Even when like, say you're little and you're just like, you know what? I want to do that one day. So on that note, I guess we will end it. So thank you so much for listening. If you liked what you heard today or want to hear where we go next week, it will probably still be with synthesizers, just to warn you. Then I would love it if you could follow me. I put these out every Saturday. Thanks again and enjoy your weekend. Bye.